Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Aspects Line Up a Changing Man. My name is Gold, and I'm bringing you another episode. If you do want to hit me up, you can go ahead and hit me up. My email address is mplsmikid@yahoo or gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Twitter at mplsmikid, aka GOL. And if you want to hit me up on Facebook, the page on there is Aspects Line of a Changing Man. You can add me on there, where you will get updates on every episode that I do that could be coming out newly. So today I'm outside. I'm just going through places. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, around a Target Field Station, talking to different people about things that they realized from when they were younger to what they realize now, and how they change for the person that they want to be. So I've been talking to people in the last couple of weeks. That's why my show hasn't really been going on, and also changing myself, finding more confidence in myself to do shows in the ways that I can do them, which outside is a good way to do shows. So today's episode, like I said before, we're just interviewing people that have changes in their lives and are making it so that they can see a difference in themselves, and more positive change, and what things they need to change for later on to make themselves a better person. So I want to introduce two guys that I'm here doing my episode with. I'm going to give them a second to introduce themselves. Go ahead, sir, first.
How's it going? This is Nick from Minneapolis.
And this is Ernest from Minneapolis.
All right, and as you know, my name is Gold. So these are the two guys that we're doing the episode with today. Could be more people, but we'll start off with them. So how long have you guys been in Minneapolis?
I've been living here for about 15 years.
I've been here about 20, almost 30 years.
And in that, what have you found good about Minneapolis?
Minneapolis has a good job market. It's a great place to raise a family. Aside from that, it's a good city. I mean, there's some good people that live in Minnesota.
For me, my mother brought me up here. I have family members. I have family in Minnesota. I got a grandmother here, uncles, cousins, auntie. And I was from California. I was born and raised in Oakland. And after the earthquake in '89, my mom decided to move up here and be closer to her mother so she could take care of her mom, because she's the youngest. So we come up here, and I'll turn 14 the next month. So 7 days after New Year's, 1990, 14 years old.
Well, that's great. As me, I've had to make changes about myself as far as the way that I act and the way that I think towards things to become the person that I am. Have you guys felt like you had to make some changes about yourself as far as who you are, so that you're able to become the person that you want to be?
I think a person should always be evolving. You should always be trying to make yourself better. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect or anything near. I'm far from it. But what I do try to do every day that I can is keep a good mental mind state whenever possible. And I do try my best to do one thing good for someone else each day. Something selfless, something kind, something that comes from the heart. Whether it's the smallest gesture of opening the door, or whether or not it's giving someone that you see that's homeless $10 so that they can eat. Whatever it is, just make sure that one act of selflessness and kindness isn't for a positive response. So you can't be looking for something in return. I never want to look for anything in return. And that's what giving selflessly truly means, is to give from yourself without expecting anything in return. And it's actually, I found that, believe it or not, it's actually more gratifying. It feels better when you don't expect anything, because randomly, in my experience, something good will happen directly following.
Amen. And what made you actually want to make that change? Like, what made you see doing that is something that you wanted to put into your life, not only for just a moment, but all-time basis? What made that change happen for you?
I think just based on the fact that I do, like I said, I'm not perfect. I've done a lot of negative things throughout my life. I've been involved in a lot of negative acts in my life. And, kind of trying to make up for some of those bad deeds, some of those wrongdoings, some of those things. But more so than make up for it, counteract. That's the better way that I can put it. I'm trying to counteract, because the things that we do, whether they're negative or positive, all have an effect on someone else. And if you cause a bunch of negative effects to other people, and it constantly affected them in negative ways, and you never change anything or never do anything positive to counteract that, then you're not putting anything good out into the universe. You're just making it a worse place.
Agreed. I definitely agree upon that. That definitely. Was there anything as far as like family, as far as like kids, as far as like a spouse, that made you see these things before it was actually something that you put towards you, or was it something that you actually just seen yourself and you said that I wanted to change?
It was something that through my, I had my first kid when I was 18. She was born when I was 18. I didn't even know about her until I was 21. That's how wild I was in doing different things and being involved in different things. And I guess it was such a shock for me because I found out about my daughter at 21. And I started to reflect on all of the years that I had missed, the things that I didn't, the opportunities that would have been afforded to me, but I didn't even know. And I blamed myself for a long time for not being there for those first few years. And, it affected me in a positive way because it did make me straighten out a lot. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not perfect, because if you grow up in a certain environment or you do certain things constantly, it is hard to break cycles. It is hard to break habits, but it's not impossible.
Yes, it is. That is a true fact. What about you, sir? Did you ever make a change towards yourself, about yourself, that made you, that you seen that you had to change to become a better person?
Oh, definitely. My change, it happened on its own. Like, I didn't try to make a change. It just fell in my lap. Where, I've had relationships. I've been in a relationship ever since I was, I would say, 15 years old. So just like 7-8 months ago, this the 7 months ago, not about a year now. I'm going on a year now. I've been kind of single after I've been going to break up with my ex. I was with her for 7 years, and before her it was a 10-year relationship, and before that it was a 9-year relationship. I was married before that. So, and then after this last one, I'm wondering, well, what's wrong with me? What happened? I did a lot of blaming, and for once, I actually, no matter how I felt about them at the moment, because I wanted to die at the end of that, So that was one of my my moments where I had a clarity, because I was diabetic at one point, and when I was deciding I wanted to die and not take these meds, God, as far as my perception is, God took the diabetes away, because I wouldn't take the insulin no more, but I didn't even need it. So and that's because I was the depression. I didn't eat, so I lost weight, and the weight loss was great for me, for my health, I guess.
Yeah. So, like, when you were going through that point that...
I wasn't done. Look, I'm telling you that my change came when I asked myself what was wrong with me. Look, I asked them, I wonder what was wrong with me and why does this result keep happening. I changed a little bit, but I had to look at who I really was outside of other people's eyes, when nobody's looking. Like, remember, just for real, like being real and honest, and change you and not the other person. I had a very bad habit of blaming others, and I looked in myself, and change came, and it's a lot of change, and it was good change too.
What I was going to ask you was, when you were going to that point of, wanting to die, what gave you the feeling, if you don't mind me asking, what gave you the feeling of having that as a want of yours?
It was a breakup, very bad for me. It was bad. I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't want to feel the pain no more. I didn't want to feel the pain. I was, so that was why my one. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to live. I was in a shelter at the time too, going through this. On top of that, and my ex is in another state with someone else, and playing head games, calling me, and then call me again, and just it was bad, yeah.
So what kind of changes did you make towards yourself to see a better person? You know what I'm saying? You say the person that's behind closed doors. What changes did you make for you to see a more positive person when you looked at yourself behind the closed doors?
Well, we all look at ourselves and we think, like say if you was like on Facebook, it asks you to describe yourself. You get a lot of ones. I'm 100 and I'm honest and I'm the most this. This whatever you think you are. Maybe you should ask 20 people that knows you and let them answer that for you. Anonymously, just don't even put your name on it. Just all y'all just tell them what you really think. Don't even put your name down, so they don't feel like you'll be mad at them for telling the truth. But you'll find out who you really are through other people's eyes and not yours. Because of course we love ourselves. We want to always make ourselves look hard and as good, or maybe some of us might be negative and think worse of yourself when you're really not. So it's just like you never know what other people think of you. We kind of did that in the treatment. I was in treatment program, and it was, people didn't know, they didn't put their name on it, so we didn't know who wrote it. So we were a little upset at some of the things that was said, but it's necessary. My change was me. I had dealt with a woman for the last 7 years that was like I used to be. She's really aggressive. So, and my ex-wife and my youngest daughter's mom is not aggressive like that. So, I kind of got a whiff of what it was like to live with me for those long years. And if that's what they felt like, that wasn't cool. Not cool at all.
Understandable.
Yeah, what I went through with her, it was just unbelievable. But I still loved her. I grew to love her over years. I knew her 8 years before that, so I did know who she was. But you spend enough time with somebody, I guess you do fall in love. That's when, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's true. But I didn't want to be that person. I lost a family. I lost my 10-year relationship came to an end because of my anger also.